Hey world, my name is Justin KH. I am author of Adopted for Sex, Surviving Complex Trauma, a memoir available on Amazon Kindle and paperback. So today's video, I wanted to do like a video reply to, on Paramount Plus, there is a show, a documentary that came out in 2025 called Predators. And it was kind of like a piggyback over the evolution of the infamous Dateline NBC Chris Hansen To Catch a Predator back in the early 2000s. A show which pretty much got normal, everyday American men to meet up thinking they were meeting up with a 13 or 14-year-old male or female for sex, kind of in a dummy house, and there was a camera crew waiting by to catch, catch the predator in the act, or it never got that far. But so what they were talking about, though, is that kind of the evolution of how there's now, kind of newer people taking the reins on that. I know there's a couple Facebook channels, Pred Hunters, stuff like that. They do videos of, doing their own kind of online social media stuff. And, it made me think about my experience back when I was 14 and 15, how easy it was for predators to get at me. I wrote in my book that there were a couple times and there were some bad times. And, in the bad times, I thought I had learned my lesson, but I still went back to it. In this Predators documentary, though, there were specifically, I feel like there was this general question throughout the documentary of, what makes average, ordinary men successful in life, family, kids, know that if they meet up with a 13-year-old, there's a likelihood that, their complete life could be in shambles. And why would somebody risk that? Even somebody very educational or very intelligent, why would somebody do that? And in order to do that, we need to go into a world that really doesn't exist right now, where men talk about traumatic experiences they experienced as a child. I feel that predators are bred from predators. It's the grooming technique. Again, as I wrote in my book, at ages 9 and 12, I experimented because to me, it was as normal as tying my shoe. And luckily I didn't experience anything violent from my father, and so I didn't give anything violent out. But there was, having to go through offender treatment and everything, it kind of just opens your eyes into what you don't know about the cycle of abuse, what grooming is like, this predatory language that I talk about all the time, that, it's like double talk to people. You can't understand it. Only specific guys can. And so why would somebody, do that? And it's likely that it was predators are bred from predators, so they learned it somewhere. It was something traumatic that happened, and again, that men don't talk about. We don't talk about our feelings. We let addiction. There's guys that get into DV, all this violent stuff, and I think that if we sat down and we had a talk, we could figure out the root issues, that many of it is taught trauma that was groomed into them, whether sexual or not. But for some reason, it's still in there. It haunts them. They can't control it. And that's what they saw on the show To Catch a Predator. So thank you for listening to my reply to the video, given my experience. And I hope you catch me on my next one.